Hello there, and welcome back to Nerdier Things Live. We're here to review episode 2 of The Falcon and Winter Soldier, The Star-Spangled Man. Rock on, yeah. Thank you, Taylor M. I just worked on that this week. Had a little bit of free time, and yeah, I'm pretty stoked for it. So whenever the Falcon and Winter Soldier is over, I'm going to work on a new one for Loki, and nope, the Bad Batch I think is next. But awesome episode. Episode 2, The Star-Spangled Man. What a great episode. Get introduced to 3 possible new superheroes in the future. Little bit more tidbits of what's going on with the Flag Smashers. And a lot more about John Walker. And that's where we'll start out. John Walker in The Falcon and Winter Soldier is a lot different than he is in the comic books. In the comic books, he was like a pro wrestler, had gotten super strength from a character that we'll talk about later on, the Power Broker. And he was just an overall bad guy, just straight out bad guy. And I think they're doing a great spin on this, having given him the military background, the outstanding soldier background is a really good twist on this, because now you start to question, well, is he deserving of the shield? Is John Walker deserving of the shield? As of right now, other than the fact that Steve Rogers obviously gave it to Sam Wilson, he seems like a pretty straight and narrow guy who looks up to Steve Rogers and seems to want to do as good as Steve Rogers did in the role of Captain America. And that's another thing that I thought was kind of crazy. That they're not even calling him U.S. agent. They are just straight up calling him Captain America. He is the new Captain America in this universe. Not U.S. agent, just Captain America. And yeah, that's that opening scene, before the Marvel logo of him, unzipping the suit bag, having his Captain America suit in there, and him kind of like pepping himself up for this like hype party. I don't know how you would put it, but the government is basically parading him around, very similar to the way we saw Steve Rogers paraded around in Captain America, the First Avenger. So I think there's some really cool parallels there with these two. And yeah, and I loved how it faded out from his scene in the locker room with the marching band music. The drum corps music was awesome, and seeing the Marvel logo with that drum corps music going was really, really cool. Give me some drum corps or marching band music anytime. Yep, exactly. And yeah, so I like this vibe that they got going at the beginning with John Walker, Captain America, where he's a good replacement for Captain America. Not saying that he's the right replacement, um, especially since Steve gave Sam the shield. And we could go deeper on that and, like the betrayal of the government giving the shield. And I'll save that for later. But and then it cuts to Bucky watching this on TV, and you can just tell it's devastating. He trusted Steve, and basically through Steve has trust in Sam to do the right thing. And basically he's seeing here that, maybe Sam didn't do the right thing because now the government is parading their own Captain America around. And then we get when Sam meets up with Bucky. Sam's getting ready to go on his mission with Torres is leading the mission. And this scene with the big three, it was in some promos. I've seen it a couple of times, and it never gets old. It hasn't gotten old yet, I should say. It's just a really good back and forth between Sam and Bucky. I absolutely love the part, wizards. Well, who are you going to fight now? Gandalf. And Sam's like, wait, you know who Gandalf is? Bucky's like, yeah, I read The Hobbit in 1937 when it came out, which is awesome. I love his little. They don't come off as jokey because he's being serious. Like in the first episode when he was on the date and he said he was 106 years old. It's jokey and it's funny, but like from his perspective, it's all real. So Bucky was upset with Sam and didn't like Johnny Walker Cap. Yeah, yeah, definitely. He was just upset with him that that Steve had entrusted the shield with Sam, and obviously Sam made the wrong decision and thought that he could trust the government when they said that they were going to keep it in. It belongs in a museum. But Sam and Bucky, Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan, their chemistry is really good, in this episode. Like they play off each other really well. I feel like there was a couple parts where one thing that I didn't want to happen in this, you know, is where everybody it's it's kind of like a buddy cop formula, although so far to me it's felt more of like a spy thriller, which I really like a lot. um, but so far, like the buddy cop feel of it hasn't went too far, where it feels like more of the old school buddy cops, where there was a straight one and then there was the funny one, and to me, Sam Wilson is the snarky, um, funny cop, and Bucky Barnes is the straight laced cop. And there was a couple parts in this episode where it didn't feel like it was just Bucky being so straight laced that it comes off as humor, but it felt a little forced. I think the part was on the train when they're fighting the flag smashers, and the girl jumps up and catches Red Wing and smashes it, and he says, "Oh, I've been waiting forever to do that." I didn't like that line. I didn't think it didn't land for me, I guess. Um, but they fly off to do this mission. They're off to get find out more information about the flag smashers, and they what am I thinking here? Brain fart. Um, but Bucky, one funny thing that happens on the plane ride to the mission, towards the end of it, Sam is calling Bucky Buck, and Bucky's like, you can't call me that. Like, Steve could call me that because he had a plan. And Falcon's, he's like, I got a plan. And he jumps out the window. And it was a really good scene. I liked it. I think a lot of people aren't gonna like this scene. But for no reason at all, Bucky's like, he rips off his sleeve to show off his vibranium arm, and he jumps out and just plummets straight to the ground, and obviously he's a super soldier, so he's going to be very durable. But I mean, come on, you're going to break something, like at least like a minor fracture, maybe. But anyway, so they continue their mission. Sam is finally, like, okay, you're here, you might as well join me on this mission. And we still get this great dynamic from them through this scene, and it's a great dynamic because you have Bucky, who's been this lone wolf, doing his Winter Soldier thing for such a long time. He worked by himself all the time. And then you have Sam Wilson, Falcon, who, was in the military, even though Bucky was, obviously, but, um, for a longer stint of his life, he's been doing, solo missions, but Falcon, recently in the military, doing a lot of team activities, especially with Captain America while he was with the Avengers before Endgame. Um, has a very um, you can see these leadership skills building in the Falcon, where Bucky wants to run right in. There's only two of them. I could take two of them by myself. And Falcon's like, no, wait, hold on. Watch what Red Wing sees. And then obviously, there's 5, 6, 7, there's 8 people, you know. So Falcon has this very, calm demeanor. Um, and I think that's what we're going to see through this show, is that Falcon is slowly going to build up all of those traits where at the end he's finally going to feel like he is worthy of carrying the mantle of Captain America. But then we get the very cool semi truck highway scene with the Flag Smashers, obviously hyped up on super soldier serum, some type of super soldier serum, and there that fight was on par with the opening scene to episode 1, I believe. And I think a big part of that was, I'm watching it, I'm like, I've seen a lot of this in the trailers, in the promos for the show. So, I've seen a lot of this, and then John Walker pops up throwing his shield around like he knows how to use his shield, Captain America's shield. And we did see that a little bit briefly, but he was just throwing it at targets and stuff. But he's doing a pretty good job of copying the way Captain America fought with his shield. Definitely not as talented as Captain America was with his shield, but for someone who's not hyped up on super soldier serum, I would say he's doing a pretty decent job. And there's a great scene where Bucky catches the shield out of midair, and you can see just like the disdain on his face when John Walker comes by and takes it back and continues fighting. And the one scene so I didn't really like the Bucky line where he says that what did he say? Where he said, oh yeah, where Red Wing got smashed and he said, I've been wanting to do that forever. Like, it just didn't fit in the moment. I feel like there could have been, it could have just been left out. Just, I didn't like it. And also, like, my two gripes with this episode are in this fight scene, that are just lines. It's nothing to do with the choreography or anything. The line with Bucky about Red Wing wanting to smash it, and then um, the line that Sam says, like, even though yes, in this buddy cop, he is supposed to be the snarky one, so you expect him to say some snarky things, but the line where he's flying and I almost said Sebastian, Bucky is hanging off of the truck and the Falcon is flying low and looking at him under, and he says, "That girl kicked your butt or whatever." What's the point of that? I don't really. It just didn't land for me. It didn't ruin anything for me. It's trying to be funny, and it just wasn't funny to me. But the overall fight scene, yes, Taylor, the fight scene on the truck was like a Fast and Furious mix with the Matrix Reloaded. I definitely got. I'm not a big Fast and Furious fan, so um, I've seen like the first couple, and maybe that's from some of the later ones. They look like they had heavier action scenes in them in the later, like 4, 5, 6. But definitely Matrix Reloaded vibes. Definitely. And I know I've already seen a little bit of, like what the fuck is this with Bucky and the Falcon, when Falcon swoops through and saves Bucky, and they're rolling in the flowers and everything. I've already seen a little bit of hate of that. And yeah, probably could have been left out. What's the point of that? But I think it's really showing that there is there's a bromance blossoming here. I mean, it's what it is. Oops. It's definitely what it is. But like, these flag smashers are in this fight scene, they were really, really cool. Now later on, whenever we see them doing like more of their like revolutionary type stuff, it got a little bit boring for me. I would like to have seen it. There was a little bit of a threat level, but we don't even know what that threat level is. Because we get a short little line that says, they're loading the plane, and I am jumping around here a little bit, but flag smashers. They're loading the plane, and they get a phone call. One of them gets a phone call, and they're like, they're on their way. And a short little line somewhere in there, it's the power brokers men, and that is a character from the comic books that does actually hand out superpowers. I believe, if I'm not wrong, that is where US Agent got his superpowers, and possibly even where Flag Smasher, the character, got his. I would have to look back into that. I might do that here in a second. But But anyways, this scene later on in the episode with the flag smashers, and they're transporting their medical supplies that they have just stolen. And what type of medical supplies are they? Are Is it more super soldier serum? I have a feeling that it might be. I feel like it would be weird if it was not something to do with super soldier serum or something. Like I definitely understand that they're a revolutionary group and they're trying to help the the people that are most affected by um the power vacuum that was created by the blip and then refilled immediately by um people from the blip coming back. um but and I guess it could be medical supplies because Bucky and Sam, I believe, do have a conversation about whether or not, like, is this something even worth going after? Because, like aren't they just trying to help? But I may be mistaken about that. But anyways, my point, I keep on getting off of my point here, and I apologize for that. They The flag smashers, they very menacing in the semi truck scene. They're obviously super soldiers, some type of super soldiers, but like the semi truck fight scene, very very menacing. They are a threat, and then when you find out that there is a threat to them, like, there's nothing established. There's no threat established to them. So we're just it doesn't feel like the flag smashers are actually in any danger because they're super soldiers. So why are they afraid of them? Obviously, when they do show up, they have guns. So that could be one downfall. And actually haven't seen any of the flag smashers use any guns yet, which is definitely interesting. But they have the super soldier serum, so there's that. But this power broker that's after the flag smashers, we know nothing about. We don't know how much danger the flag smashers are actually in. It definitely hypes up that threat. So, so you do have that. You do have the fact that the threat from this episode, the flag smashers, the threat that the first episode kind of built up, there's a bigger threat. There's always a bigger fish, to quote the prequels. Um, there's always a bigger fish. So, who is this bigger fish? The power broker. Who is it? Is it someone who's been established in the MCU already? I have some theories. Let me get to I'm gonna get to Taylor's comments here. Let's see. I felt it was weird that the one flag smasher gets shot up and didn't survive. Yeah, yeah. Um Yeah, it's almost like, because just a second ago, Bucky jumped out of I think he said they were at 200 feet, um, you know, and absolutely nothing happened to him. And so, so my kind of thought is that, we're under the belief that, Bucky, Red Skull, Captain America were the only people that have had the super soldier serum and survived. We're led to think that. More on that later, obviously. But I'm thinking that it's definitely a super soldier serum, but it's not the super soldier serum. It's a watered down version of it that definitely makes them strong, but doesn't make them as strong where they can stop bullets. Thinking of it, I'm trying to think, can Captain America actually take a bullet, or does he just always have the quicker reflexes to stop the bullet? I think he just has the quicker reflexes just to stop the bullet. Yeah, that or even didn't, going with, I felt it was weird that the one Flag Smashers gets shot up and didn't survive, or even didn't get a chance to fight the shadow government. And that's what I'm talking about. Like later on in the episode, after the semi scene, that um those scenes just didn't land for me. Um it felt like it slowed down the pace of the episode towards the end of the episode where it shouldn't be slowing down. Um and like I was saying, like, like exactly, like I think the shadow government, Taylor, I think that you're talking about is the power broker. And the guy pushes over that the light pole to stop them while they're taking off on the airplane, and he's running at them and they just shoot him up. And then you see a guy run out into the airways, and it's just some like normal dude in like a vest and a jacket. And you're like, what? Like, who why are they scared of this dude? like yeah, I didn't get that part. I didn't understand why the Flag Smashers, who are obviously hyped up on some type of soldier serum, why they're scared of these people, why they're running. Like, they didn't run away from Bucky Barnes and Falcon and the new Captain America and his boy. Oh, his teammate. So yeah, that's basically like the two parts that I didn't like about it. A couple of the supposed to be comic relief lines, um, and yeah, I agree. It didn't make sense to me either. That's kind of why I wanted to just get it out of the way right here, um, so that we can move on. Let me see here. Yeah, and then we get, after fight, after that fight, you know, I yeah, this is a buddy cop like show, and like since I almost did say movie, I will expand on that a little bit. Like so far, the way this has flowed, it feels like it was supposed to be a movie, and we're still in the first act. So I almost I almost feel like it would have been better if it was almost if it was a movie. But like the very last scene of episode 1 was seeing the US agent, and then the very beginning of this episode we see um the US agent, getting ready for his reintroduction to the new Captain America party. Um, but anyways, these guys have great chemistry. I'm gonna say it again. I really like their chemistry. Sam is always ragging on Bucky for being almost kind of like Steve was, kind of out of touch with, the way the world is now, and being very stoic and brooding, and I don't know, it just works for me. I really like their dynamic that they have going. And if you've seen any of the promotion that they've done for this show, that you can tell that it extends outside of work, that I feel like they're probably pretty good friends outside of acting together. I kind of get this vibe that they definitely are. And it's really fun to watch. Oh, there we go. I absolutely love this scene. They were Sam and Bucky were walking down the street, and they pass them in their Hummers, Jeep, whatever military vehicle it is, and they try to stop and pick them up, and really funny moment. Sam and Bucky just walk right by, like, no, thank you. And they keep on trying to pick them up. They finally get in, and you know, one funny thing, before they actually do get into it, John Walker brings up the big three, which is a funny little callback to um, earlier in the episode where the Falcon is talking about the big three, and you know, it's funny. And they get in, and it's a very tense situation. Obviously, Falcon's upset that it's crazy because they're both sitting there. Falcon is supposed to have that shield. Bucky was best friends with the man that had that shield, and like, and he's just trying to be chill about it. And Bucky and Sam are not having it. And It's a really funny scene. My favorite part of it is when they ask something Hoskins, I believe, but John Walker's teammate, if like who he is, and he gives him his like his superhero name, um, and it's Battlestar, and immediately Bucky's like, "Stop the truck! I'm getting off. I've had enough. I don't, do not want to associate with you guys. This is silliness. What kind of name is Battlestar?" I feel like that's what he's thinking. Like, who calls himself Battlestar? I'm out of here. Like, what's going on? Oh, I freaking forgot. A re- a really cool thing happened, you know, right right before the semi truck Matrix fight scene um, happened when Sam and Bucky are talking. Um, the Falcon refers to Bucky as, after spending his time in Wakanda, he refers to him as the White Panther. And Bucky actually corrects him and is like, "No, it's the White Wolf." And Sam is like, "Oh, what?" Um, Obviously, that's a cool little callback to Infinity War when Bucky was spending time in Wakanda, and all the children there called him the White Wolf. And it was a cool little scene. And I totally lost track where I was. I know that, yes, the Battlestar is one of U.S. agents' teammates in the comic books. So I really do like how they are playing, very close to comic book, but not being entirely faithful because truthfully, if they would have started this episode being comic book accurate, having John Walker being a professional wrestler who the American government decides to give the Captain America shield to, what, like, that would make absolutely no sense. And like I said in the beginning, that is why I'm really happy with the change to John Walker's background. So, but yeah, Battlestar was one of um, U.S. agents' teammates in the comic books. So very cool stuff. Um, Maybe we'll see more of him. We definitely will see more of him in this in this series, but maybe we'll see more of him in future projects, possibly. Um, but there is so they leave, they get off the truck. Oh yeah, man, like and it's really cool how you start. I really like how they're playing John Walker. Very sympathetic at the beginning. At the end of last episode, we see him as the new Captain America, and the internet goes crazy. Everybody hates this dude. Everybody hates this dude. Something cool I did learn online, which is kind of kind of like it's just a great set of circumstances, I guess. So, one of Wyatt Russell's first um, auditions was auditioning for Captain America. And now he's playing the second version of Captain America. And I don't know if that's true. I saw it on the internet. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. But if it's true, it's really like serendipitous. Like it's just kind of cool because he is kind of playing Captain America now. Um, but anyways, I digress as always. Um, just random tangents always. Um, where was I going? Yes, John Walker. Great portrayal, great writing, sympathetic at the beginning. He's a soldier. He's a well decorated soldier. Um, has done his time. Very clean slate. He's the new Captain America. End of last episode, everybody hates him. Beginning of this episode, yeah, he's sympathetic, he's in a role where, you know, given different circumstances, he would be totally fit to carry Captain America's shield. And but like the thing is that like the reason why I think this is well written is because we know that Sam should have the shield. And especially in this car ride, we kind of start to feel not as sympathetic towards um, John Walker, especially like in the scene they are talking about how they knew they were there. The Falcon was like, "Were you tracking the flag smashers?" John Walker was like, "No, we were actually tracking you and tracking you through Red Wing." And Sam Wilson was like, You hacked my stuff?" And John Walker's like, "No. It's like the government stuff, so it's not actually yours. We just tracked it." And that's something that I don't think Captain America would do. And you're slowly starting to see these traits from John Walker slowly leak out that aren't very Captain America ish. And at the end of this scene, where I was going with this is that John Walker's kind of doing his spiel on Sam Wilson, trying to get him to, them all to team up. And, he's saying, "I am the new Captain America, and it would be great to have Steve Rogers' wingman by my side." And yeah, no, Sam wasn't having any of that. It's like, "I'm out too. Nope. Deuces. I'm gone." And so, yeah, I think it's very well writing. You know, you think last episode, his introduction, you really do think that you're going to hate this guy. Um, not Wyatt Russell, also. Not Wyatt Russell, but John Walker. You really do think that you're going to hate this guy. Um, he's like, I keep on thinking of the meme of Harry Potter, and like I don't know, one of the last two Deathly Hollow movies where, um, you know, Professor Snape is standing up where Dumbledore was like, "How dare you stand where he stood?" Um, and at the beginning of this episode, I'm repeating myself here, but I really do think they're doing a good job with this. They really could have just had John Walker come in and just be the heel, be the one that nobody likes. Nobody likes him. It's clear and simple that we do not like this guy. That would have been easy and it would have been boring. But no, they made you think that you were going to hate this guy. You wanted to hate this guy because he's holding Captain America's shield. It's not his fault. And they gave him a really sympathetic background. There's nothing as of yet that says that John Walker isn't no. There's only one thing that says that John Walker is not as deserving as Sam Wilson to carry Captain America's shield. And that is the words of Steve Rogers, Captain America himself. But anyways, okay. I'll move on from that. But I gotta say that, I just gotta say this again, one last time. I love the way they're handling John Walker. And then we get this guy. Oh, I didn't see that. Sorry, I didn't know. Taylor, John Walker is likable, evil Captain America. But yeah, I like the way they're going with that. Um, like I said, it would have been just so easy just to make him the heel, the one everybody's rooting against, but they went for the likable route, and I think they're slowly going to give up nuggets that are going to make us dislike him a little bit at a time. Um, but anyway, so Sam and Bucky are walking away. They are kind of talking about, digesting what just happened. They're talking about super soldiers. And Bucky drops the line saying, "Well, I think there's someone you should meet." No, I think was this conversation on the airplane? I think this might have been on the airplane. But Bucky's like, "I think there's someone you need to meet." And once Bucky said, "I think there's someone you need to meet," I was like, "Wait, what? What? What's happening? What's going on here?" Then they go to Baltimore, and I they group this all together, kind of, and I didn't know if they were going to go this route. I didn't know if Disney was going to have the balls to do it. But being that the Falcon is of African American descent. He's a black man in America. That is a completely different experience from mine and a lot of other people. Oh. But I didn't know if they were going to bring up a lot of race stuff. But it's obvious from this episode that they are going to do that. I believe some of the bank episode, some of the bank scene from the first episode had a little bit of racially toned stuff in it. I know, I mean, I'm not in the greatest shape, but I'm never going to be mistaken as an athlete, a basketball player, just off of how I look. Yeah. And so Marvel goes here. They went there and I'm very proud of them. Isaiah Bradley was a super soldier. He was part of 300 African American men who were given different doses of the super soldier serum. And he was a group of, I believe, 8 men who survived out of 300. And in the comic books, I forget what spawns it, but Captain America is sidelined for some reason. I can't remember what the reason was, but Isaiah Bradley steals, this is in the comic books, steals Captain America's suit and goes over to, I believe this is still World War II in the comic books. Or it might not be. I forget, not totally on all the details, but he goes on a rescue mission and saves a whole bunch of people. And he comes back and the American government arrests him for stealing Captain America's outfit after having survived this rescue mission. You know, he was basically a hero and was treated like a criminal. And in Marvel, Disney, they went there, they did it. They didn't change it. Isaiah Bradley and Bucky had a past. They fought. They both survived. Oh, bring up Taylor's. The guy who played Isaiah was in Supergirl as Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter's father, and Doctor Sleep as the aide to Danny. Yes, I knew I recognized him somewhere. That's cool. That's cool. But Disney, I was thinking they might skirt the issue of race, and this episode they did not. They went right at it. They have brought as Isaiah Bradley into the MCU, which is really great. And I'm not going to go into it. Like I really think um, if you want to know more about why I having Isaiah Bradley in the MCU and everything. Go follow a person of color who is into nerdy stuff, and let them tell you about it. Obviously, I mean, I can't I can't I can't tell you how that is such a blessing. Like, I know it is for them. I know it's a great it's awesome to have this guy, for that community. So I applaud Marvel for doing that. And it didn't stop there though. It's awesome. It's awesome to see that, there's more super soldiers out there. Not only, you got the flag smashers, but you have, now you have Isaiah Bradley. What's cool also is that, there was a little boy that answered the door. And in the credits, he was credited as playing Eli Bradley, who is Patriot from the Young Avengers, who we basically have all of them almost now. So we've met Eli Bradley, who becomes the Patriot. We've met Billy and Tommy, who become Wiccan and Speed. We're going to meet Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye. And we're going to meet, I forget what her, Scott Lang's daughter, joins the Young Avengers. And she's supposed to be, they recast her role from the girl that played in Endgame. They recast her role as for Quantum Mania, Ant-Man, the third Ant-Man, Quantum Mania, or it's called something like that. I forget what it's called. But yeah, so Eli Bradley was the kid that answered the door. Maybe Isaiah will beat up Johnny Walker and take over the SHEILD. It's possible. That's kind of like my question, like going further is, like who is really going to end up with the shield? And I think at this point right now, I think it could be, anybody. Um, I think there's a chance that, depending on how they want to go with this, um, because they're never the thing I like about Marvel is that they never actually stay 100% faithful to the comics or any specific comic run. They like to mix and match and kind of make their own stories with um, combining a lot of different stories. So um, there's no set thing that says that John Walker has to be a bad or evil Captain America. So there's a complete possibility that John Walker could keep the shield. There's a huge possibility, and given that we've actually seen clips of Sam Wilson practicing with the shield, that 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 Falcon could take the mantle of Captain America. There's a possibility that Bucky redeems himself, gets such a redemption in this series that Bucky could take up the mantle of Captain America. Exactly. Isaiah Bradley could pick up the shield again. I would, even if he doesn't get the shield, I would love to see a redemption for Isaiah Bradley. Obviously, he's not in a good place. He spent 30 years in jail after being a hero in the Korean War, where the US government dropped him behind lines and they did him dirty. And it's really what this show has continued to do is show the inability of America to truly take care of their veterans' mental health, financially. Um, yeah. And so, yes, a redemption for Isaiah Bradley. Not even, because he's obviously, he's old, he's about as old as old Cap is at the end of Endgame. So, he still have his super strength, but you know, probably not as fast as he used to be, but um, some type of redemption would be really, really cool. Um, yeah, yep, agreed. Um, yeah, so I'm really stoked about all this. Possibility of Eli Bradley being Patriot in a future Young Avengers show. Um, them actually showing like what's so cool about it is that like um one of my things is that tackling race and having diversity and everything in these shows and everything is freaking it's great. It's what the world needs. The world is growing more diverse. America is growing more and more diverse. Um so really coming at it from like if you want to come at it from a capitalistic view, like that's what the people want. Um They want diversity because the audience is diverse. But the thing I liked about this is that it it fit the story, it fit the narrative. It wasn't it wasn't forced. Um, it was you could probably say that it's a little bit of a uh reboot, not reboot. Um, oh, brain fart. I'm forgetting that word. But you could say that it's some type of rewrite, that like it was never mentioned, but they even covered that. Um, Bucky said that he never wanted to tell Steve Rogers about his his grandpa, because he had already been through enough. Like maybe at some point in time in between there, um, they he had went to kind of check on him in some form or fashion, and saw that, like it's pretty obvious that, Isaiah Bradley's not in the greatest of places mentally or even, financially. Um, so Bucky obviously was like, why pick at old wounds? Just let old wounds heal. And but now you have this threat out there of super soldiers, and exactly what Falcon says. Well, we're kind of alone on this. Like, what are we going to go take on a whole bunch of super soldiers? And that's where Bucky is like, I think there's someone you need to meet. And so it fit the story. And even the next part where they leave Isaiah Bradley's house and they go outside, and um, they're kind of arguing about, Falcon is kind of asking Bucky, like, you tell me there's been a black super soldier in America and nobody's told me about it. Like, you didn't tell Steve. And, that's where Bucky says that, dude's been through a lot. Can't you tell? Like, I didn't want to bring up those wounds. And then the cops pull up. And this again is very brave, and I applaud Marvel and Disney for having this scene in this. You know, um, yeah, cops show up super fast. Um, you watch this scene and you can just imagine that that this just happens way too often. Um, and like if you think about their past, you have Bucky, a white man who was a freaking assassin for Hydra. And then you have a black man who was a US soldier, fought for the United States, became Falcon, Avenger, everything. Bucky did end up fighting as a Avenger in some type of form, but they make it clear that you know, that's not what these cops are seeing. They're highly focused on Sam Wilson. They don't ask Bucky for his identification. And you just see this stuff all the time. And yeah, I'm happy that they're playing this out in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Sam Wilson being a black man, and not to put it in would seem cowardly. So I'm glad they did it. Like I said earlier, I can't say much on it because I don't none of that happens to me. I mean, I don't know what to say about that, but I'm glad they put it in there. Good for y'all. So the next scene, Bucky gets arrested. Bucky's the one that ends up getting arrested because he's the one that has a warrant out of him because he's the one that skipped his basically probationary therapy session. And the therapy session is hilarious. Like, it's great. They had, again, I have to say it, they have really great chemistry. And once again, just like the Gandalf scene from earlier, this scene, I've kind of seen parts of it in clips and promotions and trailers and everything, but they're she tells them to look each other in each other's eyes, and they begin to have a staring contest. And she's like, "Wait, are you having a staring contest? Are you for real?" And I just love their dynamic. It's so like Lethal Weapon, Tango. It's so 80s buddy cop. It really has that vibe for me. Maybe not for other people. I don't know. But it does really give off that vibe for me, and it's really hilarious. And I thought it's a really fun scene. And we kind of get down to some of their beef. Bucky is mad at Sam, like Taylor said in the chat earlier, for giving the shield back to the government. Bucky obviously thinks that he shouldn't have. And yeah, the line Bucky drops, because he says, Cap trusted you, and if he was wrong about you, that means he's wrong about me. So right there, it's like, oh, I get it now. So if Captain America was wrong about Sam, being strong enough, mentally and everything to carry on the legacy of Captain America, was he wrong about Bucky being strong enough to bury his past as the Winter Soldier? And yeah, it is really good scene there. I liked it a lot. So we also do find out that John Walker, U.S. I keep on wanting to call him U.S. agent, but they have never said U.S. agent. He is John Walker, Captain America. But anyway, so yes, John Walker is pulling strings to get Bucky um, a looser leash, I guess I should say, something like that. Um, and then I don't think that's the right photo. There we go. I gotta figure out a different lighting section. It's like right there. It's like it's funny. It ends up being right in between the eyes. You're gonna get shot. But anyways, like I was saying earlier, this scene we have um they're both kind of checking each other out, like what kind of information do you have? What kind of information do you have? Um so, they kind of both find out that they're at a stalemate. You know, Falcon thinks that they should definitely go different ways because um John Walker is going to have a whole bunch of hangups with government red tape, and they are more freelancers, so they don't have to worry about that type of stuff. So basically, John Walker would just um, hold them back. So um, where was I going with that? So yeah, it's really great. Um, Oh, yeah. So Bucky and Falcon Winter Soldier are walking away, and like I was saying earlier, tidbits of reasons not to like John Walker. He says to them, "Best to stay out of my way." And you're like, "Oh, stay out of whose way? What? Where?" Um so yeah, again, I have to go back and say that I love the way that they're handling John Walker. It would have been easy to make him the heel that nobody likes completely for all the right reasons, but they have played him very sympathetic at the beginning of this episode. Um, they give you no reason to dislike him and all sorts of reasons to like him. He even comes and helps Bucky and Falcon fight the Flag Smashers on the highway scene. He's, you know, say whether or not he was a great help or not, but he tried. And, but there's slowly these these moments where he is obviously not very likable. And I just I'm very impressed of their handling of John Walker as the new Captain America. Um, I think any other writing team would have been, yes, let's make him the heel. Nobody's going to like him. Everybody's going to hate this guy, um, and it is going to be easy for us to make just everybody hate him. It's easy. But I give them props. They didn't. They haven't went that way. Um, I kind of thought they were going to go that way, especially the way they ended, and the way they. everything kind of went. The whole internet was like, "Oh yeah, no, who is this guy? Nope." But they started this episode, and it's been, they gave him a very, very solid background, and they really made him likable. And they're slowly dropping these hints that, you know, maybe you shouldn't like this guy as much as you think you should like him. He is definitely, um, especially when it comes to, government control over um what you're doing. Um, he's definitely the anti-cap. Um, so far, basically, in the truck scene after the highway fight scene where they're all four sitting in the truck, um, John Walker actually refers to himself as the government. So he kind of sees himself as an arm of the government, where Captain America wasn't necessarily an arm of the government. He was a reflection of what's right, you know. Um, yeah, this is a really great episode, though. I thought it was really good. Obviously, a couple of down points, especially when it comes to the flag smashers. I'm really interested in seeing what is the threat that's above the flag smashers. You spent the first episode and the first half of this episode trying, amping up the flag smashers as the big threat, but there's a threat above the flag smashers that the flag smashers are um, afraid of. Um, Wait, what? Black Widow name drop was in the airplane scene about before Infinity War. I guess I didn't catch that. Oh, does he just say Natasha's name or something like that? I think I think I remember hearing it. I didn't give much weight credence to it or anything. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Whenever, yeah, they're talking about the last time they tried to steal the shield. Um, yeah, Sharon had been basically exiled from Shield, um, deemed a rogue agent or something. I forgot what he say about Natasha, or did he group Natasha in with himself and Steve, because those three had to um, they had to live off of the radar um, because of everything that happened in Civil War. I still think we're going to get even more. Damn, man. I still think we're going to get even more things about Black Widow, and I think it's going to be dropped about the super soldier serum. I think there's going to be a link between super soldier serum in Falcon and Winter Soldier with the flag smashers and Black Widow. Thunderbolt Ross is going to be in Black Widow. I didn't go into it earlier, did I? Who could be the power broker, the one that the flag smashers are afraid of? Could it be Thunderbolt Ross? Could it be a little bit outlandish? Could it be Red Skull? They seem to want to tie some things to Hydra, since that's kind of what they were leaning towards when they were talking about at the end of the episode going to see Helmet Zemo. That there may be some secrets still to uncover from Hydra. So, speaking of Black Widow, it's really cool news that, we finally, even though it did get moved back, we do finally have a set date for Black Widow. And it's not going to change now because they're doing a simultaneous release on Disney Plus and in theaters same day. I am kind of not really bummed that it is still going to be the premium access on Disney Plus. It's been such a long time. Like, it was supposed to be May last year, I believe, for Black Widow. So you're going on a year that this movie should have been out. Like, man, just drop it on there for free. But I do plan on going to see it in the movie theaters and in probably at home. Unless I can talk the missus into going to the theaters, maybe during a matinee to go see it. We got Taylor. Play Silence of Lamb score for Zemo. Did they play that? Did they? Was that? Did they? Both times I watched it, I was doing stuff. The first I watched it this morning. So usually the first time I watch these shows, I'm waking up and I am getting the kids breakfast and everything and changed and everything. So usually I got a lot of stuff going on the first time I watch it, and then I did get to watch it 3 times, but the third time I wasn't necessarily paying very much attention to it. The second time, um, I I knew I had to go somewhere at the very end, so yeah, I wasn't paying very much attention to the very, very end. I knew Zemo was there, which I kind of like how they've ended both episodes with like character first appearances. Into the first episode, we get the appearance of John Walker, Captain America, and then although we've seen Helmet Zemo before, we do get his first appearance at the very end of this episode. Um, and yeah, I guess one thing that we do learn is that he is still in captivity. He is still in prison. I forget which prison it was that he was sent to. Um, but and then we it's gonna be interesting to see how they get him out, because we obviously see him out of prison with Bucky in one of the promotion shots, like one of the first promotion shots that we've seen. Um, but it's going to be interesting to see how they get him out. It's going to be funny. It's not going to be funny. It's going to be interesting to see. And Taylor says, right, agree, drop it plus without paying extra. Yeah, yeah. But at this point in time, I don't know. I understand where they want to get the biggest bang for their buck, but their buck, which is the movie, has been sitting around gaining interest. So they always well, hell, I don't even know if Disney has to borrow money. Shit. I'm sure they do though. So, you know, um, movie studios, they borrow money for these movies, and then they pay the money back with interest. And when you have a movie sitting around for this long, it would have gathered up a lot of interest. I believe that's why we haven't seen continued ads, trailers, or promotion for Black Widow. But I think you'll see that ramp up again right before it comes out. But yeah, I understand. And then I'm like, a year, it would have like literally been on Disney Plus by now for free, if it would have had its May theatrical release, it would be on Disney Plus by now for free. So why not, Um they are dropping the Pixar movie Luca for free on Disney Plus. Yes, the Suicide Squad Red Band trailer dropped and it was great. I agree. Um, I am one of the few that actually enjoyed the first Suicide Squad, but this looks definitely like more of a solid movie. Um, when it comes to the first Suicide Squad, I definitely do want to see David Ayer's cut, because it was cut by a I believe a company that edits trailers. So the company that edited the trailers for Suicide Squad ended up editing the movie Suicide Squad, which doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, I think Taylor's agreeing with me. Yeah, and it, it's, I'm a big Pete Davidson fan, and the fact that he's in this is just so so great. It's great. It's going to be cool to see Pete Davidson in a comic book movie. Um, I I forgot who exactly he's playing, but yeah, um, yeah. It almost remind James Gunn is directing it. So it kind of makes me think: are there going to be a lot of even from the trailer, you can sense there's going to be a lot of comedy. Um, Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie is just like born to play that role somehow. And it's great. It looks great. It does. Um, I'm. I believe I've said this before. I'm not as knowledgeable about DC comic book stuff as I am Marvel stuff. The shark guy looks awesome. A lot better than the crocodile guy from the first one. And Elba as Bloodsport looks good. Yeah, yeah, everything looks good. You know, Shark King. Yeah, Shark King. Shark King looked awesome. Like that's going to be a great. It kind of made me think of almost it's rated R. Red Band. So um it kind of made me think of Deadpool, a little bit, yeah, yeah, the fact that they have that the King Shark character in there or is that's a cool move. It's going to be great. It's going to be really good. And you know what? Props to HBO Max because I have HBO Max and I'll get to watch that the day it comes out. You know, um, I don't know. There ain't nobody watching. If anybody watches this far into the video, whatever. Um, but I got something to say. I guess it's what grinds my gears. But anyways, okay. So Zack Snyder's Justice League has come out. It's very good. It is 1,000 times better than the 2017 version of Justice League. 1,000 times. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Especially yeah, they're almost they're very similar. I believe they work together a lot. Tarantino and Rodriguez. Um that definitely got the Robert Rodriguez vibe. Tarantino too, yeah, yeah. Um, but Justice League came out, and you got Ann Sarnoff or whatever her name is, saying that it's over. That finishes his trilogy. Um, Gosh, don't take anything out of context that was said before the movie even released. The article was the interview was given before the movie released. Um, but I get it. They kind of use this as a um, beat our chest moment of like, nope, Zack Snyder's cut was good. Everybody likes it. What am I trying to? Hello, hello. Oh, check. Is that coming through? Yeah, I guess it is. Something happened though. Check. Okay. Yeah. Nope. Freaking turn the volume down on my headphones, and was wondering why. Where was I? Okay, so yeah, Zack Snyder cut League, Justice League comes out. It's good. It's great. It's 1,000 times better than the Justice League. Then we get this stupid article by somebody interviewing Ann Sarnoff, which was an interview that actually happened before the Justice League came out, and everybody gets mad at her because whatever. And now I mean, I absolutely love Zack Snyder. I love Zack Snyder. One of my favorite movies is Rise of the Guardians, Owls of Gahul, his CGI animated movie about owls that fight each other. That's one of my favorite movies of his. Dawn of the Dead is probably my second favorite. 300. I loved Watchmen also. Sucker Punch. I even love Sucker Punch. Like Sucker Punch is like in concept, it's a freaking horrible movie, but it showcases one of the things Zach does best, which is visual art. He's a visual artist. And Zack Snyder's Justice League was a visual masterpiece. But I go on like basically every social media platform I have, and I don't want to see it anymore. I'm I'm done. I don't want to see the hashtag restore the Snyderverse anymore. I love the movie, but I just don't want to see it anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like literally the whole page was nothing but like no, I props to you guys for doing what you need to do to try to get the Snyderverse restored. But like, I'm not going to sit there and have that completely, there's other things that I want to see. There's other things that I want to know about. Like, I do not want to spend my night reading everybody's hashtag restore the Snyderverse tweet. So I did some house cleaning, quote unquote house cleaning, on my social medias. And I no longer have restore the Snyderverse everywhere. Yeah, there are some channels that I definitely, still follow on Twitter, the good ones. Like, and there are a lot that I have definitely unfollowed. And then this is going to bring me to my other point. The Ambassador and Brian, Master of None, had a really good discussion yesterday on the Ambassador's channel about the whole Marvel versus DC silliness. And it was a great conversation. And one thing that I've decided, because other than like what I just said about, like, I don't want to see your restore the Snyderverse tweets, never said a single disparaging thing against the Snyderverse or any DC, even though I am not a DC, I'm not a DC head. Like, those are not the comic books that I grew up reading and listening to and watching, I just didn't, I'll bring up Taylor's before I go on off about that part of it. Could Snyder get Batman Beyond? Will DC movies moving forward become awesome? I don't know. One thing I will not pretend, I do not have any type of insider knowledge of anything, I just like the stuff. Would I like to see Snyder get Batman Beyond? Yeah. I think that's something that he could do. He could do very well. I don't think he wants that. I think he wants to do. I think he wants to finish up his, Justice League 2 and 3, and then, I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't want anything to do with WB anymore. For what they put him through during one of the worst times in his life, having to grieve the death of a, a a daughter, a child. Like, I have daughters, so I couldn't even imagine having to juggle those two things. And that's not even getting started with, the fact that he had to fight tooth and nail to get Batman versus Superman. Even, he probably had to fight tooth and nail to get the Ultimate Edition that is far superior than the theatrical release. Like, there was one quote of his said that movies, making movies is a fight, um, and he didn't have the fight anymore. So I think he definitely wants to continue the. Yeah, yeah, I do too. Um, you know, um, I don't know. It's frustrating because, um, like I just said, I didn't really grow up like in DC. Not that I hated them. I had a lot of DC toys. Um, Remember watching Super Friends when I was younger. Um, and there were some DC comic books that I did have, but um, the 90s X-Men cartoon was something I watched on the regular. I have, with my comic book collection, probably 80% of it is X-Men and Wolverine comic books. And then probably 15% of that is Spider-Man comic books. And another 5% would probably be Spawn comic books. And then um, other 5% would probably be random assortments of Image and um, other Marvel comic books, and a splash of DC comic books. Um, Mainly big event stuff. I have the Death of Superman comic book, and I have the Batman Spawn crossover DC comic book. Um, but anyways, my point is that I've always been a fan of Marvel. And I'm sure there are millions of people out there just like me who grew up in the 90s on that Marvel bubble, where Marvel was just a lot of content they were pushing out. Let's see what Taylor has to say. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's something that I said about Zack Snyder even like a while ago before the Snyder cut came out, is that, I kind of want him to move on, because, there's so many other things that I think Zack would be good at. Um, you know, and I think one of the things I've heard is that, there's talks about a King Arthur movie that Zack Snyder might be attached to, which is right up his alley, I think. Um, really excited for the Army of Dead movie. Really, really excited for that, because the first Zack Snyder movie that I watched was shit was his reboot of Dawn of the Dead, which, if we're talking about beginnings of movies, the beginning of Dawn of the Dead, Zack Snyder's reboot, is one of the best openings to a movie I've ever seen. But anyways, so I'm a Marvel fan, and I appreciate Zack Snyder's Justice League a lot. A lot. I liked it. It was good. I'm gonna buy it. It's gonna end up in my collection. And Actually, the only DC movies that I have. Oh wait, no, I do have. I do have some. What do I have? Have 89 Batman, Man of Steel. I don't have Batman versus Superman because I haven't found the Ultimate Edition yet, and that's the only one I'll own. I don't know if I will even own that, but I do have Suicide Squad also, and Birds of Prey because I liked it. I don't even care. Um, so I'm a Marvel fan, and you know, somehow I got into this circle that like all they talk about was restore, the Snyderverse. The Snyderverse is awesome. Brr, 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 brr. It gets old, dude. It got old like a long time ago. Like a long like I haven't been following any of that for probably a month. And there's a couple of them that I'll pop in and listen to them for a little while because I like their takes, and everything. And I'm not going to drop any names. But when it comes to okay, so this is the way I look at it. Zack Snyder, Justice League fans, whatever, Snyderverse fans, whatever, have taken a lot of crap because they like a product. I would never give them crap for liking a product. But you know what I've noticed a lot of them do? I'm not going to say all of them, not all of them do this, but a lot. A lot of them especially now since it came out and we've all seen it. A lot of them are just shit piling on Marvel like Marvel hasn't been raking in $1 billion movies for fucking 10 years while freaking DC's over here struggling to make 500 million. Hey, you know, I mean, it's frustrating because the whole time, like, I love Zack Snyder. I love Man of Steel, but I'm not a fan of Batman versus Superman for multiple reasons. Ultimate Edition is a little bit better, but there's still problems. And I never like looked down on them or degraded anybody for their love of the properties that they enjoy. And I actually enjoyed watching them be excited for a property that they enjoyed. And then it's like the movie finally comes out. And then like true colors start flying. They think it came out and I guess they think that since it was so good, it was good that I don't know. It's frustrating because like I said, these were channels that actually enjoyed watching, and then it turns out that they're just as big of haters that they were trying to get away from hating on them for liking something that they liked. It's like, how to put it? The hated on have become the haters. And it's like whatever. Eh, thank you, Taylor. Just I guess kind of just letting out some frustration here. It's not like anybody's going to see this or anything. Batman was dumb and a drunk and wanted Superman dead and like what? Yeah, like I don't know. The movie just never hit for me. Even the Ultimate Edition, like it's better, like mainly it's better because it has more of Zack Snyder's visuals to it. That's the reason. It's a longer movie, so it has more visuals. Because the one thing that people knock on for Zack Snyder is his slow motion. You know, um, I mean, it's like going to see a Michael Bay movie and like being mad when there's explosions. Like you get what you pay for. And Zack Snyder loves some slow mo. It's what it's like he built his career off of that. But I don't know. See, like I'm like contradicting. I'm not contradicting myself because I do like Zack Snyder stuff. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's not necessarily that I hated that he killed Jimmy Olsen right at the beginning of that movie, but it was just kind of like a what? Like we're not going to have Jimmy Olsen at all? Like okay. Because, okay. Um so kind of like how I was talking about like when things fit, killing Jimmy Olsen didn't fit. Did it have to be Jimmy? Why did it have to be Jimmy Olsen? It didn't. It absolutely did not have to be Jimmy Olsen. At least in my opinion, it did not have to be. Um, there might be something that I'm missing there, but yeah, and like Jimmy Olsen was like working for the government. Like I said, I'm not a big DC head, so I wouldn't know if there's some storyline if Jimmy was some type of spy at some point in time, but yeah, whatever. Um, we're at 2 hours, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Um, thank you, Taylor, for joining me. I forgot to tell you that I did put the link in there. Like I don't if you just weren't filling up for um jumping in with me or anything, that's perfectly fine. I enjoyed having you in the chat at least with me. Um, so thank you for coming by. Like I said at the beginning, if you did like the content, um, please feel free to subscribe and like the video. Um, Oh, my bad. I would have added it again. You should have said something. Um, I'm sorry. There. I'm. It might have been because I added it in there too early. I had everything set up at like 10 o'clock, so that's probably why. Um, well, shit. My fault. My fault. My fault. But I am still don't call it. Well, shit. I feel bad now. Uh, oh well. My fault, man. That's my fault. I'll remember that next time. To add it in a little bit later. Um, if I do get everything um set up. But if you are interested, I do have some things that I'm definitely trying to work a little bit more on trying to release a little bit more regular content, even though time is a precious thing and sometimes it's hard to get those that regular content edited and brought to you guys. And there is little last thing. Johnny Depp's libel trial against the Sun in the UK did not get its appeal um, passed. So um, I think what I read, I think there's a couple more chances for appeal, but it's not looking good after a first denial of a repeal. I'm not going to get into all of that drama, but I'm a huge fan of Johnny Depp, especially his stuff before Pirates of the Caribbean. Talking about Edward Scissorhands, um, um, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Um, just um, Secret Window. A lot of good stuff that What's Eating Gilbert Grape. All kinds of movies that I absolutely love that that Johnny Depp starred in. And so I kind of want to start this video, and I've started videos and not finished them many of times. So I'm hoping I finish this one, and it is going to be called A Deeper Look, and we are going to take a deeper look at Johnny Depp, go a little bit into his history, where he's from, and everything. Sleepy Hollow, yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, another absolute great movie that Depp is, and so one of the things that I'm hoping to see from Depp, and I hope he takes a step back from Hollywood. One of the things that he used to do whenever he was a younger, smaller actor was he really pick and choose his roles, and he really picked some really, really, really great roles. And I feel like the star kind of got to him, and kind of spiraled a little bit there. But I hope he takes a step back, takes a break from Hollywood, comes back and can be that old school actor that I remember from exactly Sleepy Hollow, and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Such a great actor back then. But yeah, be looking out for that. A deeper look. And the first episode of that would be into Johnny Depp. I think I might actually do some history stuff with that. A deeper look into historical stuff. Um, There's been one that I've been really wanting to do, and I don't really want to do it because it'll make people mad, but I kind of want to do it because it'll make people mad. But I have that, and then I don't know exactly how I'm going to see Godzilla versus Kong, but I'm definitely going to see it in hopefully next Saturday. By Saturday night, I should have a Godzilla versus Kong um, review up because I am pretty excited for that. Even though I'm not a very big Godzilla fan, I am a pretty big Kong fan, if that makes sense. So Team Kong all the way. And that's where I'll call it. Once again, I apologize, Taylor. I will make sure to get that link in a little bit later, like right before I start the show. Um, Looking forward to see what happens in next week's episode 3 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Hopefully, we find a little bit more about this power broker, the villain to the villains, the flag smashers. And we'll find more out about where is the super soldier serum coming from Zemo. We're going to see how Zemo gets out. Are they just going to let him leave with Falcon, with Sam Wilson? I don't know. Are they going to break him out? We'll see. So until next time, peace.